Give it up for Ron.
My name's Ron. I'm from San Juan, Puerto Rico, represent.
How long have you been stand-up for, Ron?
About like 3 years. I started my senior year of high school and I just kind of been doing it since then. I think you gotta keep your mind open and don't be a creep. That's all I got.
Excellent. Thanks so much.
Yes, no problem.
Wow, that was the first time I didn't have to lower the microphone. I wasn't necessarily blessed with height, if you haven't noticed. Something I'd like to talk to you guys about tonight is something that's very near and dear to my heart, is my love life. Some may consider it a punchline, but I think it's just many years of experience which has culminated to this moment. I'm glad that you guys were excited to hear me, though. You definitely have more emotion than I do in my voice, which is something that has to hurt my dating in the previous times. Like, oh, how are you doing today? I'm doing good. And then they get mad because they think I'm not interested in them, but I wouldn't be there if I wasn't. Let's be honest, when we all go on dates, we have ulterior motives, right? Like, if we went on a date with someone we didn't have an ulterior motive for, that would just be hanging out with a friend, I feel like. Now, in my experience, there's a few things in dating that are really important. I wouldn't call them rules, because you don't have to do them. But if you look like me and you're the average guy who doesn't have a Chris Hemsworth jaw, I feel like you need to heed to these rules. The first thing is, this is not a TED Talk. If you walked into here ugly, you're going to walk out maybe uglier. So, I'm no miracle worker. I'm not going to multiply you from a 2 to a 10 like Jesus multiplied one fish to a million. For all the religious people here. One of the big things is, if you're not an attractive person, you have to own up to it. And look to other things in your life that you can use to your advantage, like money. That's something that, people say, oh, I don't care about money, I care about love. Like, that's not true. Like, why is Beyonce with Jay-Z, Not because he's a looker, Like, we listen to his music, we don't watch his music videos. So. Because when you talk to a girl and you're like, oh, I'm majoring in creative writing, she's like, all right, yo, what's going on, John? Like, they're gonna talk about someone else. Whereas if you're like, oh, I'm an engineer, she's like, oh, tell me more, like, engineer, electrical, computer, I don't know, Silicon Valley maybe. I think when you go dating, an important thing to have is confidence. Because if we're being honest with ourselves, most of us, like, our biggest accomplishment is not hitting the snooze button for your 8 a.m. and making it on time. Like, I can only speak for myself, but I haven't cured anything yet. I think also, when people think about dating, they think, oh, I need to have like this chiseled body where they're impressed with my physique. And I don't think that's true, because if that were true, I feel like my friends wouldn't be picking up more girls than I do, Like, I'm not saying I'm a Greek god, but I'm also not skinny, So, and one of my friends looks like he's anorexic, which there's nothing wrong with that, but why does he have a girlfriend and I don't, Like, that's why I have the problem. Like, I'll eat a cheeseburger and keep it down just fine and not feel guilty. So, I don't know. It's a tough world out there. Sometimes, like, when we look around and we see that a girl isn't interested in us, we think, oh, maybe if I lie, like, it'll be good, right? Like, I'm not a dad. I don't know, like, some things that you say might help, but I just don't think that when you go for someone outside of your league, if you lie, it'll work, because it'll catch up to you in the future. That's not a deep thought, that's just from experience. Like, it never works out. Like, it's just a surface level thought. Something else I've experienced in my time is that when you think too highly of yourself, they'll pick up on it and go along with it. Because I think the vibe that we give off is the vibe that we get back. So if you ever do self-deprecating humor like I'm doing right now, it's not the best way of picking up women, I found out. Sometimes also, when you go out and you try to have a good time, you feel like, oh, like, I need to talk about, like, the girls I've been with in the past, and maybe if I come up with a sad story, like they'll feel bad for me. Like they'll feel bad for you, they'll just go home with someone else, you know? That's just, thanks for support. Something I would like to give a shout out to is the creeps outside, you know? Creeps really ruin the dating game for the rest of us gentlemen, I feel like. I don't know, I feel like everybody I've met, when they meet someone and they like learn their name, which should be the first thing you do, but which I haven't done, is you look them up on Instagram, right? And you stalk their feed. And everybody is like, oh, like, my guilty pleasure, you know, like, don't tell anybody I'm doing this. Like, why is it so wrong to look at someone's Instagram feed? Like, I feel like it's easier than going on multiple dates, you know? Like, if I can scroll through your Instagram feed and see everything you've done in your life up to now, and that saves me like $100 worth of dates, I feel like we're doing all a favor, because if you ask me, oh, why is this present from Plato's closet, I'll say maybe you shouldn't have gotten the steak from Outback, you know? And I have more money to help you out. I also think, like, creeps, like, they ruined us, you know, handing gifts out to girls that we meet, right? Like, when you see an attractive girl, you're trying to start, you know, strike up a conversation, you might go up to her and be like, oh, here's a taquito, like, how you doing? And they're like, oh, why you give me a taquito? As if that's a weird thing, you know? Like, I promise I didn't spike this taquito, I just want to talk to you. But too many strangers have been giving out candy to kids, and I've ruined it for the rest of us, you know? I have to respect, you know, people who go out for people outside their league, because I haven't done it before, and like, I might try it out sometime, because it'll change up things that, yeah, support the crowd, very good. Sometimes I think though, when we look around, we think to ourselves like, why do they charge $10 for guys to get into a party, but nothing for girls? Like, that's something I have an internal struggle with every time I go out, because do you pay and then pay more for drinks? Or do you stay back and just watch Netflix on your parents' account, right? Like, I had that struggle a lot, and I normally choose the Netflix because I wake up feeling fine the next day, right? Like, I'm not saying that going out and paying $10 into a party is a bad thing, but the bad thing is when the girl finds out you're not the brother and she's not going to get on the list next time, like, you're going to leave by yourself again, you know? But I will say this one thing, I'm not a hypocrite. I understand that I'm not the most attractive guy in the world, and I'm giving you guys a modified TED Talk about dating, and I'm a single guy, but I feel like with failure comes wisdom. And I appreciate you guys listening to my modified TED Talk, man. Thank you.